Now, I was going to film this from the floor because this is a weird, I'm like sitting sideways. This is a weird angle to be filming from. However, there are at least two very large worms or centipedes. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're like long and big. And I don't know if there's more of them, but I'd just rather not. I'm not the hugest fan of bugs. And I'm not feeling murderous today, and I don't feel like killing them, so I'm just gonna leave them. I'll let them be, and not sit on the floor. So that's what this is. So the last time I talked in a video like this on this channel, I said how we were evacuating, specifically me, one of my parents, and my brother and the cat were evacuating to Texas. We did that. I'm no longer there. I'm back in Florida for the Hurricane Ian. And I just want to chat. This is not edited. Outside, I will pause the camera thing if somebody comes in, because that's weird. But we did that. We ended up staying there for a week longer than school was officially off, so I didn't miss a week of school. So I'm not doing the greatest in my classes right now, which is going to be annoying to fix, but what can you do? But I have missed being at school, which I know that sounds weird, because I love Texas. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. I don't think I would do well there. First of all, I wouldn't be able to transition there because of all the bullshit laws there, but just like a bunch of reasons, I would never want to live in Texas, at least not now. But I do love Texas. It is very nice. They have the food. That's a very specific thing, to just the food in Texas. Go to Texas, you'll see what I mean. And of course I have family there, and that's very nice. However, I have missed school, because the difference between being with family and being with my friends at school is I'm a very outgoing person at school. If you go to school with me, or if you're like my one or two friends who I have that aren't school friends, you know, I'm annoying almost. I'm very extroverted. But I don't really get that with family, because there's different like expectations when you're with your family versus when you're like with your friends. I'm sure that's a thing that most people can agree with. So I've missed that. It also means I've missed out on rehearsal times. I'm doing a play, theater kid. It's called The Play That Goes Wrong. We're performing it in November. And I have a pretty important role in that. These bugs are wacky. I have a pretty important role in that, and I've missed a fair bit of rehearsals, so that's annoying, but we're planning on doing a script reading thing tomorrow at lunch. So that should be good, because we're supposed to be off book by the 18th, and I'm not off book yet, so I should work on that. But yeah, no, so just stuff like that has been sad, kind of missing out. I felt very disconnected from my school friends this past week or so. I mean, obviously I still keep in touch with everybody. Like, I have a group chat that I created it, so I'm like the admin of the group chat, but that's not really a thing that's pointed out, but I did make a group chat for people in the play, and, you know, I'm in a few other group chats with people at school. My friend Landon even had this cool idea of like a musical thing that he wants to make. So like we were all chatting still, so it's not like I was completely cut off from them or anything, but there's just a difference. I'm sure if you've ever had school friends who like left town for a week, hold on. Okay. I'm sure if you've ever had friends at school who have like left town for a week or something, then you know there's like this, even if you keep in touch with them, there's like a difference with them not actually being there. And I've kind of felt being on the other end of that this past little while. So I'm very excited to get back. Also, they announced, while I was gone, they announced the musical that we're doing this year, and it's Chicago, which, if you don't go to my school, it doesn't sound like that big of a thing. Or if you do go to my school but don't know anything about the theater department, that sounds like, okay, you're doing Chicago. That was the musical they were going to do the year COVID happened, and then COVID happened literally like a week or two before the show. So, kind of a big deal that they're doing it again. But we're doing Chicago. I say we. I doubt I'll be cast. There's always a 50-50 chance with that, where I'm like, I'm aware of my flaws. I cannot dance for shit. And it's a very dance-heavy musical. And I can't dance for shit. So, like, for that reason, I'm like, I probably won't be cast. There is also the case of male privilege, which I have now. That's weird to me. That's a weird concept. I have that now. And that is very real in the theater department. Like, every guy who auditions pretty much gets cast, and every, girl tends to not be, or like, yeah, a lot of, and it's unfortunate, and it's unfair too, because it's like, there are plenty of girls in the theater department, and like, AFAB people who present feminine, or like, whatever, who are way more talented than I am. Way more talented, and they won't get cast just because there's so many, and I'll get cast just because there's so few guys. That's unfair to me. It does mean that I've gotten cast in everything so far, which obviously is nice because I like acting, but also like, shit, that's not fair to the people who are putting in just as much, if not more effort than me, or more talented than me, that will not get cast just because there's less guys. It's not even an issue of it being sexist. It's an issue of there not being that many guys in theater. Because if there were just as many guys as there were girls, I'm sure it wouldn't be an issue, but there's so few guys in theater, so they just use us for like, here's our set amount of male roles. We only have set amount of guys. Here you go. It's very unfortunate. And the director doesn't gender bend casting a whole lot. Even with this play, which the version of the script he got has characters, like, most of the characters can be either gender. And all of those characters that can be either gender are guys in the script. And only one of them was cast as girl. It was, my friend Ava's playing Chris. Which, I get it. You don't, whatever, but it's just unfortunate. But so that's my predicament with Chicago. I don't really care if I get cast or not, in the sense that I'll probably do tech or something. Like, I just want to be as involved as he'll let me be. It would be cool. I don't really know anything about Chicago, but the character, I think his name is Amos, he sings Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, that song. It would be cool to play him, because from what I've heard, he's not a super dance-heavy role, which would be good for me, because, as previously said, I can't dance for shit. This is a known fact within the theater. That song is within my range, and also, last year at Districts, I was part of a group musical number, and we did a song from Chicago. We did Me and My Baby, which is not in the movie. It's not a very good song, honestly, but it's not in the movie. And I played him. I just came out and sang a line. I was like, I'm Gafalgar. So he would be fun to play for that sort of reason. But again, being involved in any level, whether it be on stage, which is my preferred because I'm an actor, or tech, or like anything, would be nice. Again, I would just like to be as involved as he'll allow me to be. What else? I feel like there's so much I wanted to say, and then I started recording, and I just started blanking. That worm, one of them has disappeared from my site. That makes me a little not the happiest. There's one that's just been, like, doing slow circles, ever inching closer. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Today's an A day, which my school does alternating schedules, so on A days, there's, like, X classes, and then on B days, and it's every other day, there's 8 classes total, but it's only 4 per day. On A days, which is what today is, A days are my least favorite days because it's like all core classes except for one elective. I don't know if this is the way for everybody, but I have 4 electives and 4 core classes. Everybody at my school, I mean, I know it's different from school to school. But I have 4 core classes and 4 electives. And, well, technically, you need elective credits, so I guess they're not entirely not core classes, in the sense that, like, I'm taking ASL, because I have an ASL class, but I initially was like, I need the credit. You need a language credit, but now I like the class, so I plan to continue it. But what was I saying? I have 4 core classes, 4 electives. 3 out of my 4 core classes are on A days, which already makes it not super fun. And the one elective I do have on A days is the one with a teacher I don't like. I mean, there's another one with a teacher I don't like because it's the one where, like, the class isn't fun enough and the people I sit around aren't fun enough to make up for it. I have one friend in there. She's very nice, actually. She messaged me while I was gone. She's like, hey, are you okay? It was weird because I don't talk to her a whole lot. We're only really friends because I sit next to her, but that was very sweet. Like, she's nice, but she's not there a lot. Like, sometimes she'll just go because she travels a lot. So I don't plan to, it's art, by the way. I don't plan to continue art. So the air started back up. On A days, I have marine science, because I'm a fucking nerd. Marine biology, I guess it is. ACE marine biology. What do I have? A days. Science building. Math. Art, and AP World History, which I think my teacher just quit and left while I was gone. So I should talk with somebody in that class, be like, where the fuck do I go? So yeah, there's that. And then B days are more fun. Those are the days I have English, which is my core class on that day, and then I have chorus, ASL, and then theater. So I much prefer my B days, but considering that all my grades kind of dropped in my core classes, it's probably good that I'm starting on an A day so I can get the work to make up for those. There was so much I wanted to talk about, and I'm just like, nah, fuck it. Brain gone. My brain's like, you're not saying words, except I'm still talking, so clearly that didn't work. Yeah, no, I missed my friends this last little while, which sounds kind of cheesy, because it's like I was gone for we were all gone for a week, and then I was just gone for another week. Like, it's not like I was gone for several months and, like, lost all contact with them. It was like, no, we all left school for a week, and I just happened to be gone an extra week, still perfectly staying in contact. But again, it's just different. So I am excited to get back to see them. Most of my friends are theater friends. That should be obvious from context clues, because those are the people I spend the most time around. Because, you know, a lot of times, especially towards the end of the year last year, I would get a pass and go to the auditorium a lot. Because, like, towards the end of the year, no one tells you this. Towards the end of the year, you don't have shit to do in your classes. Like, after your finals are done, your classes are, like, done. There's still school left because you still have to do more testing, but you don't have shit to do in your classes. So a lot of times I would just go to, I would get a pass and I would go to the auditorium. And I would hang out in there a lot. With that and shows and districts and, you know, rehearsals and my actual theater class and everything. Like, I spend the most time at school in the auditorium around theater people. So most of my friends are in that realm. I'm trying to think outside of that. Outside of the realm of people I've met in theater and I'm friends with because of theater, there's that girl in my art class. There's, like, the people who I sit with at ASL. I have one friend, his name's Oliver, who isn't a theater kid, like, at all. I don't even think he came to see either of the shows, because that's not his thing. But I'm pretty good friends with him. There's, like, people who, I have non-theater friends, but most of my friends are theater friends. You get the vibe? What's that meme? It's like not everyone blank, but everyone who blank is blank. So it's like not every theater kid is Tyler's friend, but every one of Tyler's friends is a theater kid. That's a mostly accurate statement, actually. So yeah, no, I've just missed them a little bit, and I get to be more myself around them, which is also nice. I like being able to talk to people, and I can just fully be myself, and I can be like, yo, I'm bored right now. Like, say those words out loud, and they'll be like, okay, let's fix that. You know, like that sort of deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing them today. I probably won't see, I might see them in the mornings. My bus usually arrives pretty late, so I had some popcorn chicken upstairs for breakfast. Because, like, my bus usually arrives, like, right a little bit before the bell rings, so I don't really have time to get breakfast. Plus, my bus, there's 2 bus circles, but the one that my bus goes to is, like, right by the science building, and considering that my first class is in science, and it's separate from, like, kind of everything else, it would be very annoying to have to walk all the way to fucking, like, student cafe, which I don't have any money, so I couldn't do that anyways, or, like, the cafeteria and get some breakfast or some shit within, like, 10 minutes, and then have to walk all the way back to the science building, all the way back up the stairs. I have chronic pain. I can't do that shit. So, I had some popcorn chicken upstairs, and I have a thing of tea here, which I usually drink in my first class, depending on what the first class is. Oh, there's more fucking worms. Why are there so many worms in here? Like, that's so weird. And it's like a very clean room, and it's like a shiny tile floor, so they stick out as, like, there's a worm there. What the fuck? Why? Why are there so many worms in here? That's so weird. I feel like I'm in an episode of Goosebumps or some shit. Did you know Goosebumps has a musical? Specifically, not just, oh, there's a Goosebumps musical. It's specifically based off of Phantom of the Auditorium, which I guess if you're going to adapt a specific Goosebumps story for the stage, it's, you know, the fucking obvious choice to do the one that's about a stage play. Like, that just makes sense. But that's so fucking weird. It's decent. I can't really say it's, like, great or anything, because it's got a lot of bad parts. My Story is a very good song from that. If you want, like, peak, that and Babbling Brook are probably my 2 favorite songs. Not just because they have Noah Galvin, but just because they're also fucking good. I have Words by Bo Burnham stuck in my head, and it's one of his, like, older songs, so you know it has the problematic shit in it. But, like, God, man, he has a way with words. Even taking in the fact that it's got some very yikes shit in lyrics in that song, he's fucking good with words. So it's a good song. If you can listen to something that has some unsavory shit in it and acknowledge the unsavory shit but still find enjoyment in it, I would highly recommend, if you haven't listened to Words by Bo Burnham. Like Hamlet, all about words. It's a rap song, but it's, like, good, and it's catchy, and the chorus acknowledges that it's catchy. It's so fucking good, bro. Listen to Words, and Bo Yo. Those are older songs by his, and they have a lot of problematic shit in them, but they also have some really clever shit in them, where it's like, man, I shouldn't be vibing to this as much as I am, because some of the content is, like, yikes, which he's since acknowledged, whatever. But, like, shit, some of the wordplay he does in those, chef's kiss. What the fuck was that? Yeah, so I think that's all I really wanted to say. I came down here a little bit early to walk my bus stop. It was one of those mornings where I was, like, eager to just leave, so I did. I got dressed and leave. This year I've been sort of working on trying to dress decently. It's a thing. I think it's called, like, queer time theory or something, where it's like queer people, especially like trans people, but queer people in general, kind of like age at a different rate because they aren't able to fully be themselves as like kids or something. I think this also fully applies to neurodivergent people, but specifically when it comes to clothes, it's a very trans thing. And while I've almost always been able to like dress fairly masculinely, there's still a sort of shift there between before I came out and after I came out, like with pants, and just like all of my clothes would be shirts and pants, but they would be like shirts and pants that were from the girls section, you know? So it has been a bit of a learning curve. And my ex made fun of me for the way I dress a lot, which to be fair, I make fun of them for the way they dress a lot. So all's even. But I feel like I've done a better job looking a little better this year in the clothes department because I'm finally getting my footing, understanding what the fuck I'm doing. The air went out again. It's always like a little jump scare. So that's been fun. This is probably not peak fashion, but it looks decent on me, so I'm wearing it. I've got earrings as well. My hair, I don't know if you noticed, it's a mess. It looks unwashed, which it's not. Like, I'm not one of those people who showers every day. I don't understand people who have the time or the patience or the consistency to do that shit. But, like, I bathe regularly, like your average person. So it's not like my hair is just unwashed. Like, I washed it very recently. It's just all the travel and shit stressed me out a lot. I used to not have to wash my hair a whole lot. Before I started taking testosterone, I didn't have to wash it a whole lot. Like, I would wash it once thoroughly and it'd be like good for a month. And obviously I still put like water in it and some shampoo when I'm like bathing, but I wouldn't like extensively shampoo and condition my hair. Now I have to fairly regularly. I don't know why that is. It has to be a hormone-based thing because it only started after I started taking tea. But like, if I go like a week without, or like a week or two without thoroughly shampooing and conditioning my hair, that shit looks whack. It looks like this, maybe slightly worse, except I fully, extensively shampooed and conditioned my hair literally 2 days ago. This is just what travel does, to me, I guess. It looks fucking wonky. I'm gonna have to wash my hair again, extensively, again, way sooner than I usually would need to, just because this is not giving. But I don't really have the time to do that. Plus, the good bathtub at my dad's house is in the back of the house, where his girlfriend is sleeping, and I didn't feel like waking everybody else up super early because I felt like taking a bath when I didn't even feel like taking a bath, so I'll do it when I get home probably. But this is the look for right now, which isn't ideal. But yeah, no. I think I've talked for long enough. I'm seeing the time clicking, hold on. Yeah, I've been talking for like almost 25 minutes. So I'll go. None of our shit got thrown underwater by a hurricane, but apparently my other parents' house was out of power and water while we were gone, so that's great. The milk is probably expired at their house. I'm gonna go, because I don't really have anything else to say, and I feel like I'm just spewing air, and I don't know if anybody watches these talkie videos anyway, so I'm just gonna leave. Not leave to my bus stop yet, because I don't need to yet, but I'm gonna stop recording. Bye. If you made it this far, thank you for checking in, I guess. And I'll talk to you guys again at some point. Oh, also I released an album while I was in Texas. You should go listen to it. It's very mediocre. Bye.